Have you ever witnessed a moment so hilariously perfect, you just know it's going to become a legendary family story? Well, I've got one for you today that's straight out of a sitcom. It all started on a seemingly normal Sunday afternoon. The whole family was gathered in the living room. You know the scene. The TV's on, people are chatting, some are dozing off. My dad, who had been quietly reading the newspaper, suddenly lets out this huge, dramatic sigh. He stands up and starts patting down all his pockets with this look of sheer panic on his face. "My glasses," he announced to the room. "They're gone. I can't find my glasses anywhere." Now, my dad, without his reading glasses, is like a ship without a rudder. He needs them for everything: reading, checking his phone, even squinting at the TV from 5 feet away. So this was a code red situation. Immediately, the entire family mobilizes. It was like a well-drilled search and rescue team. My mum started checking the newspaper pages one by one, as if the glasses might have somehow been folded into the business section. My sister got down on her hands and knees to look under the sofa. My brother, ever the tech guy, turned on his phone's flashlight to check the dark corners behind the TV stand. I was tasked with retracing his steps, asking him, "Dad, where was the last place you remember having them?" He was getting more and more flustered. "I don't know," he said, his voice rising. "I was just sitting here reading, and then poof, they vanished. Maybe someone took them." We all exchanged a look. Who would steal my dad's prescription glasses? The cat, it was getting absurd. He started pacing around the living room, running his hands through his hair in frustration. "I just had them. This is impossible. How can a pair of glasses just disappear into thin air?" He checked the kitchen counter, even though he hadn't been in the kitchen. He looked in the fruit bowl. Yes, the fruit bowl. At this point, we were all starting to get a little exasperated, but also trying really hard not to laugh. He went back to the armchair, lifted up every single cushion, peered inside the crevices. Nothing. He was completely bewildered, shaking his head and muttering to himself about how things just don't make sense anymore. This whole frantic search went on for what felt like an eternity, but was probably only about 5 minutes. I was standing there, watching him pace back and forth, getting more and more worked up. He looked at me with this desperate expression and said, "I can't see a thing without them. How am I supposed to read my paper?" And that's when I saw it. It was one of those moments where time seemed to slow down. I looked at his panicked face, then my eyes drifted upwards to the top of his head, and there they were, perched perfectly on his hair, exactly where he'd pushed them when he stood up, his glasses. They had been sitting on his head the entire time. I just froze for a second, trying to process the sheer comedy of the situation. The whole family had been on this frantic hunt, turning the living room upside down, and the missing item was in the most obvious place possible. I tried to stifle a giggle, but it was no use. A little snort escaped. My sister looked at me, wondering what was so funny. I just pointed silently at the top of my dad's head. Her eyes followed my finger, and then her jaw dropped. A slow grin spread across her face. Then my brother saw it. Then my mum. One by one, the whole search party stopped and just stared at my dad. He was still completely oblivious in his own little world of panic. "What? What are you all looking at? Did you find them?" he asked, looking around at our weird, smiling faces. My sister couldn't hold it in any longer. She burst out laughing, a loud, uncontrollable laugh. That set me off. And then my brother, and finally my mum joined in. The living room, which moments before had been a scene of high-stakes drama, was now filled with the sound of roaring laughter. We were clutching our stomachs, tears streaming down our faces. My dad just stood there, completely confused. "What is so funny? Did the cat do something?" he asked, genuinely bewildered by the sudden change in atmosphere. Barely able to speak through my laughter, I walked over to him, reached up, and gently took the glasses off his head. I held them out in front of him. "Looking for these, Dad," I managed to say. He stared at the glasses in my hand, then his eyes went wide as the realization dawned on him. He slowly reached up and touched his own head where the glasses had been just a second before. A moment of silence passed, and then he started to laugh too. Not just a little chuckle, but a deep, hearty laugh that joined ours. He just shook his head, a big, sheepish grin on his face. "Oh, for goodness sake," he said, finally taking the glasses and putting them on properly. That story has become an absolute classic in our family. Anytime someone can't find something, like their keys or their phone, the first thing we all say is, "Did you check your head?" It's a guaranteed way to make everyone smile. It's just one of those simple, funny moments that remind you how much joy and laughter there is to be found in everyday family life. These are the memories that you cherish forever, the little inside jokes that bind you together. Have you ever had a moment like this in your family? A time when someone did something so absent-minded it became an instant legendary tale? I would absolutely love to hear about it. Share your funniest lost and found family stories in the comments below. Let's share a laugh together. And if this story made you smile, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Also, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.